Good morning, everybody. Glad to have you here. And if you will, like, share, and or comment on the post. And then join me in the book of Acts, beginning in verse 18. And we started yesterday talking about the girl who had the evil spirit, who was making her owners a lot of money by telling the fortunes of men, and she began to follow Paul and crying out that he is the servant of the Most High God. And so she's following him. And verse 18 says, she did this for many days. Paul, having become greatly annoyed, turned and said to the spirit, I command you in the name of Jesus Christ to come out of her. And it came out of her that very hour. So Paul gets tired of this young girl following them around, and eventually turns around and speaks directly to the demon that possesses her, and tells that demon to leave, to get out of the girl, and does it in the name, especially notice he does it again in the name of Jesus Christ. There are several things I'd like to point out to you this morning in this little verse here. She was continuing to follow him for a lot of days, and staying after Paul, and continuing to get on Paul's nerves, for a lack of a better way of saying it. Again, just a reminder to us of the nature of Satan. That he is, if he is nothing else, he is persistent. He will continue to work. We see that with Eve in the garden. We see that when Jesus was in the wilderness. He kept coming back. Well, try this, try this. Kept coming back over and over. Paul is troubled by what is going on. I think perhaps I'm not going to say Paul wasn't bothered at all by her constant barrage, but I think as much as anything, he was disturbed because this girl was trapped in her sin. This girl was being taken advantage of by these men who are called her owners. She was being a false witness for God, and probably ultimately leading to some measure of ridicule for both Paul and the ministry of Jesus Christ. And when Paul finally does turn around, he commands this demon to come out in the name of Jesus, not of his own power, not of his own might, but in the name of Jesus. And it came out at that very hour. The demon had no choice at the name of Jesus but to come out. But what I'd like for us to really kind of zero in on in this passage is, again, this statement that we have that Paul, again, the English Standard Version says he was annoyed. The King James Version says he was grieved. And in this case, I think that's a better understanding for us. Again, I think Paul was disturbed, bothered, hurt, upset, grieved, just to use the King James word, at the condition of this young girl, of her possession, of these men who are taking advantage of her, using her, of the damage she is doing to the kingdom. But specifically, I think he was grieved by, again, the sad situation of this young girl being possessed and driven by this demon. And that bothered Paul. And I'd like to encourage you today to twist your vision a little bit, to adjust your vision, your thoughts some, and let's change how we look at people in this world. We tend sometimes as believers to maybe look down our nose, for a lack of a better phrase, at lost people, people who are caught up in sin, drug addicts, those kinds of things. When truthfully, we should be like Paul. We should be grieved by their condition. We should be grieved by the fact that they are tangled up and they're ensnared in Satan's lies and Satan's web of sin and wickedness, that they are caught up in it. That should grieve the child of God. And we should be doing everything in our power to, just as Paul did, to bring Jesus to bear on the situation, to introduce these people to the only hope they have, and that is the grace and the mercy of Jesus Christ. You think about it today as you go out about your business, as you see people and you interact with people, that as you look at them, does their condition grieve you? Does it bother you at all that they are lost in their sin? Think about it. We'll see you here tomorrow morning.